What's up, fam? Welcome back to another Hydrasynth sound design video, and today we're going to be exploring how to integrate modular stuff with your Hydrasynth. I believe all of the versions of Hydrasynth, except for the Explorer, have inputs, and I believe all of them have outputs. You've got pitch, gate, modulation 1, modulation 2, and clock outputs, in addition to modulation 1 and modulation 2 inputs. So, to explore this today, we're going to be using the Moog werkstatt, which really is the most affordable, standalone, full-featured synthesizer voice with modular capabilities, and it's a Moog. So, let's start out with a first patch here. Okay, so what we've got now is just a basic pitch and gate out to a synthesizer voice with the Hydrasynth. So, I'll turn the Hydrasynth down, and we'll just hear the Moog werkstatt. Turn up the filter here. And if we turn up the Hydrasynth, we'll find that that tracks alongside. Now that's all well and good, but let's go ahead and do some other modulation stuff. Okay, so what we've got now is modulation 1 output is controlling the filter on this knob, and the entirety of the cutoff for both the Hydrasynth and the Moog werkstatt is on this knob. And we've got the VCO out of the werkstatt coming into modulation 1 here, and that is set to be the source of linear frequency modulation to oscillator 1 here. And again, we're just listening to oscillator 1. So you can see how this cross-modulation between the two synthesizers is very effective for an FME kind of a doodly-doo. Very FME. Now let's try another patch. So again, we're sending from modulation 1 out of the Hydrasynth to the VCF in of the Moog werkstatt, but this time we're using the Hydrasynth's LFO1 to be the destination for that modulation. And we're going VCO out of the werkstatt into modulation source 1 of the Hydrasynth, and having that control the filter 1 resonance of the Hydrasynth. And if we look at LFO1, it's set to a sample and hold beat sync at the rate of an eighth note, with the level dialed down just a little bit. So let's hear what that sounds like. Now that's all well and good, but let's get a little nutty. The Hydrasynth can get kind of crazy, so with these last two patches, we're going to get kind of nutty. Okay, so if we check out this patch, We've got modulation 1 source going to the LFO FM in of the werkstatt, and mod 2 going out to the filter. We've got modulation source 1 from the LFO out of the werkstatt, and modulation source 2 coming in from the VCO. What's happening with the modulation matrix and the Hydrasynth here is modulation source 1 is going to the oscillator 1 wave scan. Remember, modulation source 1 is coming from the LFO out. Also, the LFO 1 is going to CV out, mod 1. And if we look at this macro assign, CV1 is controlling the mod matrix depth 2, which is the LFO send out to there. And that sounds like this. Now let's get a little bit nuttier. So in this patch, I've again got the control voltage modulation source 2 going out to the filter. And in the mod matrix is really where the magic is starting to happen here. So I've got in still going to the oscillator 2 wave scan. I've got the in1 going into the mutant depth. I've got mod 1 going into the feedback to a negative degree. I've got mod in1 going to the wet-dry mix. I've got LFO 1 going out to the mod 2 out, CV, which is the filter. I've got that mod 2 in, which is the VCO from the werkstatt, going into mutant 3 depth. And I've got LFO 2 going out to the mod out 1 to a negative degree. Mod out 1 is going to the LFO FM in. And if we look at these mutators for 1 and 3, they're both linear FM with their source set to the respective modulation in sources. And let's hear what this sounds like. And as you can see, this allows for many, many different possibilities. But with a minimal amount of modulation in and outs, you can get pretty zany results. I haven't even dived in to the effects modulation, different things you can do with the mutators, or LFOs and envelopes. This is just a starting point. That being said, hope you guys enjoy. See you next time, fam.